Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Fortin Irish Stout. Ross,
are you intoxicated or something?
Introduce the guest, man.
Today we are bringing you the one and only UFC welterweight. It is Rhys McKee. Rhys, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, it's fight time and we're having chats, so good to be on talking to you.
Yeah, there's always fights going down in that WhatsApp group, isn't there, Ross?
Yeah, there is. We're keeping that WhatsApp group rocking. We're keeping it rocking. Rhys, tell us this: how excited are you to get to fight in Atlantic City? I don't think the UFC have been there in a while, and it's almost like a Vegas of the East Coast.
Yeah, it's like Atlantic City is probably one of them places that you probably would never go unless you had a specific reason to go. So, when I found out I was fighting there, it's pretty cool. And you know, I've always heard like any fans will know the reference Atlantic City in some of the episodes. So that's my chance to go and see it. So yeah, it's a good place to fight. It's a good place to experience. But as we said, it's about a fight, really.
Wasn't Atlantic City like the place to go gambling, and then all of a sudden, like people just start pulling out, and there's just loads of like casinos left, just hollow.
Yeah, I do believe it's like an American version of Vegas. Like we all go to Vegas, they probably go to Atlantic City. So
yeah, no, I was just checking that out.
It's a wall spot, and then obviously fighting on the same card as your buddy Caelan Loughran. Do you think that was done on purpose? Now get the Irish takeover together.
I'm not sure. I think the UFC maybe have a list of people that like maybe they go through when they're matching they go through like the Paris card and like who needs match from this one, and then there's two Irish guys, so we might as well put them on. Maybe something like that. But it's funny, isn't it? It's funny how it's worked out. Two shows, like both on it together. So strange.
You didn't send them a message and be like, "Here, I don't want Caelan on the card. I want Paul Hughes on the card instead." No.
I think we've all tried the Paul Hughes messages, so. It's funny. It's just funny how things work out, but Paul's coming surely.
Yeah, undeniable that fella. Rhys, tell us this: what you make your opponent Chidi Njokuani, and did you know much about him when you were first told that's who you were fighting?
Yeah, to be honest, like we were getting to that stage where we were waiting for a name. So like I was going through the whole welterweight division, being like, it might be this guy, it could be this guy. But I never had eyes on Chidi because he was a middleweight, obviously. So he's never a name that I would have imagined would have been the next name. I wasn't massively aware of him. I seen like a lot of his finishes and stuff. I know he's some viral stuff, which is good to see. So, he's experienced. He's a wealth of experience. He's been around a long time. He's a fun style to watch. For me, being like a fight fan and a striking fan, like he's probably someone, you know, I enjoy watching his fights. So I like the name. I like the idea of taking a win off him. And you know, this time, you know, I know maybe a few years ago, Chidi was very like making noise in the UFC, like kind of high up. So like his name is worth a lot to have. So it's like same as the Jimmy Wallhead fight, like to have a win over a guy like that holds a lot of stuff. So I'm glad, to be honest, I'm glad I didn't get the likes of a UFC debut or someone a bit fresher, because it's kind of like one of them wins. Not that nobody cares about because a win's a win, but this one holds something to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like people know his name. Obviously, his brother fights as well. So like they come from a fighting family. So it's a great name to have. Obviously, as you mentioned at the start, he's dropping down from middleweight to welterweight. Is there any fear of him like missing weight or anything like that? Obviously, you can't control that, but like, does that come into your mind at all? Being like, will this guy make the weight come fight night?
Not really, to be honest. Not really, because you know, at the end of the day, you have to look at it as he's fighting in the UFC. Like he knows how important this is. He knows the UFC taking no shit, so you have to make weight. So I'm not too bothered. What I do know is I'm fighting on the 30th of March. So whether it's Chidi or whether it's somebody like not even talking weight issue, he could get injured for all we know. So you know, I'm turning up 30th of March, and you know, hopefully he's there because again, he is the name I want. But if not, it'll be someone else.
And Rhys, we can see you're wearing a few marks on your face at the moment. Who's giving you those hard rounds up in FAI at the moment?
You know,
Shanda.
I'm not too sure who gave me these. They're like just wee Velcro burns, but of course on a Monday morning on an interview they don't look too good. So that's how you know we're in fight camp too.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, Rhys, the last time out in Paris, it didn't go your way. It was a close fight. There was a massive rally in the third. Do you feel like there's a bit of pressure on you coming into this one? And then obviously, you recently became a father as well, so congratulations on that. Unbelievable to see. So does that give you even more reason to motivate you to go out there and get that W?
Well, you know what? Like pressure isn't the word that's been with me my whole career.
Mm.
So there's no, I've seen articles already. These both guys have backs against the wall and carry on like that. It's like it's a fight game. It's never a good time to lose a fight. When you're going in your next fight, you definitely can't lose that one because you lost your last. It's just a good narrative. Pressure, like we're fighting in the UFC here. Like everybody wants to win. Like the contracts are online, so like. I wouldn't say there's a pressure, but it's a must-win fight. So it's in that way. And then in terms of like the child and stuff, like it gives you a real reason to do everything. It's like before like it's hard. I can't say that I found extra motivation because I've always been motivated. I've always had a reason to do it. But like there's now an extra reason to try and get these 50 Gs sent across.
Yeah.
That there would be nice for sure. So you just want to do everything you can to line her up for the most amazing quality of life you can. And if that means, training that little bit harder for an extra 20 minutes every day, then maybe that's just being done. But motivation has never really been a hard thing for me.
Rhys, when you look back at the performance in Paris and like in the build up to this fight, like what do you sort of focusing on, like on how to improve and like come out this time and like get that W?
Yeah, like I suppose we really haven't spoke about this too much, but in Paris, like the biggest problem for me was I missed not an excuse, this is not an excuse, but like I missed time the warm up to the fight. So I warmed up maybe 45 minutes before I fought. So by the time I get into the fight, I was kind of like cooled down again and chilled out again. So this time there's a big emphasis on how that warm up was going to look and how I'm going to come out swinging. There's going to be no secret. So I started too slow. Chitty's a fast starter, so that them two things put together makes me destined to fix what went wrong in Paris. Not taking anything away from Lusa, but the way I started lost me that fight, and that's really how I see it.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where you're watching it being like, you looked a bit more tentative at the start of the open rounds, and I was like, oh, like for me, it was like a UFC debut again. I know you fought the UFC before, but if this one felt like it was like fresh start, brand new, and like I was like, oh, it did look a bit slower. Then you were coming on stronger in the third. Do you think it's going to be ultra important to time that warm up in the back? How like you're basically almost coming off pads to the walkout. How like you're fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like even a lot of it was mindset. Like it's going to be obviously the storyline's going to be here this time, but in Paris and stuff, it was like everybody was talking about the first time in the UFC and this is their time back. It was kind of a draining energy, to be honest. Where this time it's like we're here now. It's like let's just talk about this next fight. So a lot of it's the mindset as well. And I've never been someone who suffered the jitters of the UFC and stuff like that. I just haven't got the performances in the play. If I finished Lusa at the end of that fight, nobody would have been talking about oh, he started slow, and it's just a result, and sometimes when a result doesn't go your way, it doesn't mean anything's broke. It just means you didn't get the win on that day because another man did, So I think sometimes you can look into stuff too much. However, we will fix what didn't go right and put ourselves in the best position to win the fight.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, Rhys, I was absolutely heartbroken when you lost, but
yeah, but we both were. We all anyone who watched
you weren't Ross. I was. You weren't.
So, I'll go on record. What's called Rhys. You're probably personally my favorite fighter. As in, like when you win or lose, like I feel it the most. Like it just is what it is. I don't know why.
I appreciate to hear that for sure.
You say that to everyone, man.
No. Just like there's something special. It's like I actually. It's not even like I'm rooting for Rhys McKee the fighter. I'm rooting for Rhys McKee, the guy, if that makes sense. That's the way I look at it. Just feel like you work so hard and you deserve it all, and you're always like so courteous to everyone. So
like I feel like I've been at this game a long time, and even some people like look at me fighting this guy with so many fights, and like people forget I've been cracking about since I was 14, 15. So I have a lifetime dedicated to this as well. Like invested a lot of my time and gave up a lot of my normal life, which I never wanted anyway, but like to the sport. So it's going to work though. It is working. Like the fact that this is my career now is amazing. So now it's just time to get my hand raised and then bask in the glory of the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing you might not have even thought about, but obviously when you were fighting your last couple of fights in Cage Warriors, you were the champion. You were preparing for 5 rounds all the time. Do you think that maybe had a factor in the fight that it didn't get you going as fast? Because like you were used to 25 minutes opposed to 15 minutes, like the shorter fight, a bit faster at the traps. Do you think that had any sort of impact on the fight at all? Or the preparation?
Like 100%. I couldn't I didn't say it, but you said it. It's one of the things that we've talked about the most. I always had a 5-round mentality for the last 4 fights, and it's a totally different fight prep. Not a different fight prep, a different start to the fight, a different approach. Where now it's like with 15 minutes at most to do work. So it's no longer like a mini marathon. It's more we're going to sprint. So and that's the thing. My gas tank lasts for 5 5s every time. So for 3 5s, I can put on that higher pace and just go straight to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I always think like if it gets to round 4 or 5, like back in your championship fights, it was like well, Rhys going to excel here. Like, can they keep up that pace? So I think the faster start against Chiji, who has a few first round finishes as well. So like the danger's there, but I think the danger probably excites you as well because he's going to come out and he's going to fight fire with you.
Yeah, for sure. And like the danger, like I've never once went out to fight and stood in front of someone and let them just work. It's I'm coming out to fight. I'm coming out to fight too. So sometimes it's easy to look at these guys and think, oh, he does this, but you forget to like look in the mirror at what you do yourself. So I'm bringing the fight. I'll bring the fight straight to him. Again, he is dangerous in that first round. He's dangerous exchanges. He looks fantastic in everything he does, but I have a good way of wearing people down and drowning them and making them kind of want to get out of there. So that's very much the game plan to break everybody's heart. And that's not a game plan for him. If he was replaced with someone else, I'd be wanting to drown them, tire them out, bring them to the deep waters and make them break.
Yeah, Rhys, I also want to touch on what happened to Ryan Curtis recently as well. Like, what's the atmosphere like in the gym? Because the way the whole community, like, and like the MMA community, and even more so, like the whole country, how they've sort of rallied behind Ryan, and they really hope to see him back, 100% healthy.
Yeah, it's such a traumatic event. Like the gym is back now. Is obviously still very hard to accept what happened and stuff. But the first week after it happened and that weekend was like such a strange energy in the gym. But now Ryan's making little progressions every day. Like every week he's getting a bit better. So that's buzzing the lads on. And we're very much in the mindset of like we need to go out and get these wins till like honor Ryan. It's like Ryan's obviously in the situation he's in now, so I feel like we all have a responsibility to bring the wins to him. So I'm actually going down to visit him tomorrow, so I'm excited to see him and hear from him again. But it's it makes everybody so grateful for the sport that we're able to do.
Yeah, he did let you fight. He did let you fight in his Dublin card before as well. So like, don't forget
that. Yeah, you know what he did? The Chaos Cartel signed it off, and I was allowed to.
No, he's just such a legend-like character. I still actually can't believe it's true, but hopefully he makes it back 100%. And we will put a link down in the bio for Ryan's GoFundMe. And also Cage Conflict will be coming up as well on the 24th of February, and all proceeds will be going towards Ryan. Rhys, will you be there as well? Like giving out autographs, charging people for autographs and selfies, yeah?
I don't know if people want autographs or selfies, but I'll definitely be there. So yeah, it's nice the way the show's doing it for Ryan and stuff too, and everybody in the country, as you said, everybody in the country, from seminars to GoFundMe to Big McGregor, and not like everybody's just came behind the thing. So
it was a beautiful thing to see, wasn't it, Ross?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, those GoFundMe's and stuff are so important because, like, not only does Ryan maybe need adjustments to his living arrangements to start off with and stuff like that, but like obviously, like his bills aren't going to stop. Like he's got a young child. Like I don't know what their setup is, whether they're paying for childcare or whatever they are, but like you know what I mean, like everyone knows themselves. You have a lot of expenses in life, and like it's probably very tough for Emma as well. So look, you know, every little bit helps. Like you know what I mean. Like if you can only afford the price of a cup of coffee or a pint, like you know, don't think like that's nothing. It will definitely help. So yeah, give what you can, and like we all say, we're all rooting for your chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the surgeons as well up in Belfast that have looked after Ryan as well. And if you want to find out exactly more about that, Liam McCourt was speaking with Errol Hawani, going into great detail about it. Yeah, it touched the whole community, and sort of it really shook us. I know it shook everyone, but like covering the sport and like we had to sort of take a couple of shows off just to really we didn't want to. It was hard to speak about because we didn't really know exactly what was going on about, and also we did not want to speak about it as well. So no, it was nice to get that out there. And as I said, the link will be down in the bio. But Rhys, what's the build up going to be like now to Atlantic City? Because as I said, the whole country is going to be supporting you, and they'll be tuning in to watch Kalen as well. But mainly for you. What's the build up going to be like, bud?
You know, like to be honest, it's like it's pretty much just work. It's like, you know, I'm kind of not fussed on like the fluff and commotion with the whole thing. It's like, you know, I just really set here and getting the win, and like I know we're talking and stuff like that. Like, but I probably the closer we get to the fight, I'm definitely gonna pull back from everything I'm doing in terms of like talking to people about the fight because like when it all is said and done, like all that matters is the win. Like, and if I lost my next 8 fights, like boys will not be talking to me. So I need to be going out and winning these fights. So like, and if that means pulling back from everything, and that's what I'm going to do. And I normally am like that the closer I get to the fight anyway. But I just feel it this time. Like I just not that I don't know. I just feel like all that matters to me right now is getting that win, being happy, being a dangerous fighter, and heading to Atlantic City safe, sound, and ready.
Yeah. Will there be any more Obsessed podcasts coming out, or any just YouTube videos in the build up?
Yeah, there will definitely be YouTube videos. There will definitely be like little mini blog series, stuff like that. The
Get
Obsessed
some help
podcast
off Paul Hughes there on what to name them.
What'd you say?
Get some help off Paul Hughes on what to name each episode.
Yeah, no, I love the naming thing. He needs to bring the vlog series back. They were good.
Yeah.
Until you featured in them getting them cracked. But,
That's the thumbnail.
Yeah, the fun. But in the Obsessed podcast, it's hard. It's like it's hard to get time. We were trying to get premises for the podcast, because I just felt that would take it to the next level. I want to get videos done all the time, so you know, to do anything you want to do it right. So I don't think now is the right time in terms of in the next few weeks. But we do have episodes in the bank, so they'll probably be released to take everyone over.
Yeah.
There you have it. Like world class athlete needs to do world class production. You know, with none of this amateur hour stuff.
No, I know you have to do the thing right. And then we done one video episode with Paul Hughes, and everybody loved it. So now I can go back to audio only.
Yeah, that was the show I was requesting the most.
Did you ever see it?
Yeah, I listened to it. Now I didn't actually watch it, but I listened to it.
You know what? We done the video and then never released the video, rather than send it around a few people just to kind of see what it looked like. But it looks so good. And I done one with Liam Shannon video as well. So, I need to get it released though. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, stick that one out. Make sure to check out Rhys's Instagram, and also make sure to check out his podcast as well, because you never know who could be the next guest. Yeah, but Rhys, just before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to say to people tuning in now?
No, just I'm going to be in Atlantic City on the 30th of March, and that's where you're going to see me. So I just appreciate all the support from the community. The country is always behind the Irish, so it's exciting. Just another time and another chance to go out and be one of our own. So I'm going to relish in that.
Skeletor's back, baby. We can't wait to see it, Rhys. It's going to be.
Guys, what do you think of the name?
I love it. I love it. For those at home who will pull down the fourth wall, that's the name of our WhatsApp group. Skeletor.
Jeez, giving away everything, man.
So look, you know what I mean. That's what people want to know. They want to know what's going on in the DMs. You know.
They want the behind the scenes.
Yeah, the behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah, well, if we're lucky, Rhys might jump on again ahead of his fight as well. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But Rhys, thanks a million for your time. We'll let you get on with the rest of your day, okay?
Yes, lads. Appreciate it.
All the best, Rhys.
Cheers,
Have a
Rhys.
good one.
Yeah, so Rhys McKee, he's gone, man. I miss him already.
I miss him already too. What a guy! Just such a lovely fella. Like, you just really want him to get the W over the line. There's just something about him that like makes you want to really want to cheer from. Obviously, birth of his new child as well, which is going to spur him on, and then of course the tragic accident that happened to Ryan Curtis as well. That's going to spur on all the FIA lads. I'd say they'll be out with a vengeance this year now because they want to get the wins for Curta.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was actually sort of difficult bringing that up, talking about Curta, because like remember we were speaking to him just PFL, and he actually is larger than life character, and the way he dresses, he puts you to shame, bud. But
man, he's literally like could win GQ's best dressed man in Ireland. Like, and that's not even a piss take. Like, the man is fresh as fuck all the time.
I know, yeah, and he was all set to headline Cage Conflict as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was the main event, but I suppose now the main event needs everyone else's support. So
yeah,
look. Fingers crossed he'll start to make good progress in his recovery, because he has a serious uphill battle to climb, but if anyone can do it, it's a character like him.
Exactly, bud. Also, yeah, so I think for people tuning in now, they can notice that we're still going without a guest. So the way we're doing the show now is we're going to just have a few guests in, and in between the guests, we're going to chat amongst ourselves. And it's a new 2024. And at the very end of the show, we're going to answer the Energized questions sent in from the people watching the show, Ross. And there is some interesting ones. So make sure to check them out at the end of the day. But we're just waiting on one of the guests now. But Ross, put a poll out there, right? Which matchup do you want to see headline UFC 300? Because this is the most talked about thing going around town. The options were Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya, Leon Edwards versus Islam Makhachev, Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira, and then Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. So Ross, so far, who do you think is winning?
Oh, who do I think is winning? McGregor Chandler, if I had to guess who's winning.
Yeah. Okay. So far, 50% of the votes. Who do you think is coming second?
Dricus versus Adesanya.
That's actually coming last.
Is it?
That's actually the people are least interested in that. Second most interested fight, Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira. And then third, Leon Edwards versus Islam Makhachev. And the thing is, the talk around town is they're trying to make Dricus versus Israel.
Yeah, well, I think the fight has a bit of organic beef between the two guys, which I think people are definitely interested in seeing. Like, I'm definitely interested in that fight, whether it's 300 or not. Like, I think that's the fight to make next from the middleweight division.
You don't think it should be a rematch with Strickland, no? Because that's what everyone's saying.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to do that Africa versus Africa. I think it's just something.
Yeah, but can you not really do? Is that not a fight to have in Africa? No.
Yeah, but why can't they just have it in Africa at a later date then? If it's not, see, I don't think a rematch between Dricus and Strickland for 300 is good. Like,
but I think that's what they're getting at. Like,
maybe. Oh no, I just think the Adesanya and Dricus fight is the biggest fight that is makeable at the moment.
Yeah.
Look, Pereira versus Aspinall would be like a gas fight. Like, just like I think that, and like sort of Islam versus Leon. I think like people like the idea of champion versus champion at some stage. Like, people get like really up for that. Obviously, McGregor versus Chandler is the biggest name recognition fight by a long shot, and I have seen sort of I don't know. I like the UFC 300 card. I think it's a good card so far. I just think it needs like the main event, and like it's a great card. But I've seen like quite a bit of backlash from it. Do you think the backlash is only coming from them not having the main event yet?
I don't know what the backlash is, to be honest, man. Like, people are just giving out for no reason. Like, that card is unbelievable. The 299 card is unbelievable as well.
Yeah, they're all incredible cards. To be honest, even 298 is really, really good.
Yeah. Well, like, no matter what fight is announced to headline UFC 300, there's going to be people giving out.
Yeah,
but like Dana's like, this is the biggest thing that is ever going to happen, and then we're still waiting.
Yeah, but like look, everyone's going to have their theory on what it should be and what it's not. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, any of those 4 fights are good enough to headline UFC 300, and I'm here for it.
Okay, well, let us know in the comments who you want to see headline UFC 300. And one person who would definitely want to headline UFC 300 is the main man, Conor McCarthy. Conor, welcome to the show, bud.
Cheers, boys. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, bud. No worries. Obviously, you're going to make your pro debut soon at Cage Legacy. Lovely co-main event slot. Big hype around the card. How excited you get in there in the 4-ounce gloves, my man?
Buzzing, lads. Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to let the hands go.
Yeah. Go on, Baz.
Yeah, Conor, you're obviously one of the biggest names that's going to be on Cage Legacy 20 in Dublin. And make sure to get onto Conor's Instagram as well to buy tickets. But how did this all come about, man?
So yeah, I was just looking to make my pro debut, got a few offers, and the 17th of February worked. So, you know, yeah, just accepted it and got the ball rolling.
Yeah, because we had Dan Hardy on the show in the build-up to PFL Dublin, and he was asking us fighters we'd like to see on the card, and we told him yourself. Was there any contact with PFL or Bellator?
No, we haven't heard anything. It was just through the main man, Dollar Deck.
He's some character anyway. You'll be tagged about 50 million pro Instagram posts between now and the day you fight. But
he didn't pick you up in the limo, did he?
No, I'm waiting for that, boys. I expect that.
Yeah, sure. With the amount of people traveling from Clane to see you fight, that'd be huge. You know, Clane.
A few limos going from Clane, yeah. No, I think there's a minibus on the way at least.
Yeah,
just ask for the limo. Ask for the limo.
Yeah, pull the big star move. Say I'm not fighting if I don't get a limo. That's it. But
well, Conor, you're taking on Rafael Gomez on the 17th of February. What do you know about Rafael?
He's a bit of a dark horse. There's not much out there. I found 2 videos of his last 2 fights, so I know he's a brown belt. He seems like he likes to strike. I don't know. To be honest, it's going to be the same job anyways. Keep him range, pick him off, and look for the finish.
Yeah, I saw Peter Queally put out a tweet about yourself now. He might be slightly biased, but he said you're probably the best prospect that the country's seen in the last 20 years. What do you make when you get such praise from a guy like Peter, who's been everywhere, fought who's who of fighters as well?
It's class, man. It means the world. You know, even for my own confidence and all, and my own belief in myself. Yeah, it means the world.
Yeah, he's
shout out to Peter.
He's an absolute veteran there. And obviously, when you were up in college, you were doing some training in SPG Charlestown. You were getting trained with the likes of Owen Roddy. Obviously, you're doing a lot of your training in NACE with Peter and Sergey. What's it like to have those coaches around, and like what's it like to pick their brains all the time?
It's unreal, man. Just people, you know, who've kind of done what you want to do or have kind of been successful. The likes of even Charlestown, it was nice to mix it up with all them lads. I still probably will be up there as well. I've been up there maybe a month or 2, but like, you know, still be really good with all them boys. Roddy's a great coach, and then everyone in NACE like Peter, Sergey, King Conlon. We've great bodies in every discipline. It's unreal.
And Conor, what made you decide to go professional now?
To be honest, like it was just I wanted to get college out of the way, but I didn't know if I could fight like amateur anymore unless it was an IMAF, and I couldn't take like a week or 2 to go off, fly off to somewhere. So then I was like, well, if I'm fighting, it probably has to be pro next. And this card, like, it's not only 4 weeks into college when the fight happens, so it's not mental. So that was kind of the reasoning behind it. If it wasn't now, it was going to be summer.
Okay, yeah,
fair. Getting the studies. What are you studying, by the way?
Electronic engineering.
Oh, jeez, he's a smart one as well. So fair play to you.
Not just looks, lads.
Not just looks. And
he has everything, man. And he's on feed.
Are you in your final year as well?
Yeah, I am indeed.
Oh, there we go. So will we see maybe a not so active Conor McCarthy this year, maybe 1 or 2 this year, or do you think you'll get the bug here on February and you'll want to be out a few times this year?
I keep saying I'm going to step away, and I never do. So the goal is at least 3 pro fights this year. Sure, I'm done in May. Once May hits, like, you know, it's full-time fighting. So at least 3 fights this year, I'd expect.
Okay, yeah. So we'll probably see this one and then complete the studies and then go hell for leather from there.
Probably July, August if there's any dates around then.
Perfect.
Is there anything you can tell us about what you want to do with your career? Like, what way you're sort of talking to your team, and like, or like, do you plan on competing on Cage Legacy, like for a few fights, and then trying to get into bigger shows, or are you just taking it fight by fight?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like down the line things a lot. Like obviously, I'd love to get to the UFC. That'd be a huge goal of mine. But probably for the next year, be local scene, like kind of regional scene. Maybe 1 or 2 fights abroad. I'd imagine though, off the top of my head, I can't give you a definite answer because I don't know. Just have to see what comes up. But probably be local scene for this year, maybe next year, looking for a few more fights abroad, and just building a few fights, and then looking for one of those bigger contracts.
Yeah, it's because you have all that experience when traveling all over the world, so we weren't too sure. But like, the Irish MMA fans can count themselves lucky to be able to see Conor competing on Irish soil, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but Conor, you have a massive sort of, I don't know whether it's called a fan base or not, because I think like you have a lot of mates who come and watch your favorite fight, but I suppose it is a fan base. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you sell a lot of tickets when you fight. I remember seeing you fight in the Pillow Hotel, and the place is on wheels for your fight. How grateful are you to have such a strong following from Clane?
I'm so grateful, man. They're all legends. Like, from my own friends, like I have 2 older brothers, so all their friends will be like kind of supporting me and all. I'm so grateful. I was nearly shocked for the first few times when I got all this support. Like, I didn't expect it, and it means the world to me. Yup, Clane, always represent.
Yeah,
Yup, Clane.
Clane for life,
Clane for life, lads.
What's actually the best thing about it, Clane?
Probably the bookies in the pub, to be honest. There's not much else.
I love it. But
what's the pub? What's the pub?
Manzers or Joneses, but like it's been Manzers lately. Now I haven't been there at all, really, but Manzers is the spot now.
Get the sponsorship out for the lads.
Get the 4-star stout in there quick.
Yeah. With that being said, Conor, I suppose that makes you a hot prospect for these shows. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, with that large following, with that support that you have, it generates into ticket sales. So now that you're turning pro, like, just, you'll probably have the pick of the litter of where you want to fight now, because promotions would be dying to have that selling power that you possess on the show. So that's incredible to have. But I suppose with the star power and the selling power comes the skill, and that's something that I'll be very interested to see. Will much change now in your preparation for fights, going from 3-minute rounds to 5-minute rounds?
I feel like I've been getting tailored for a pro for the last 2 years. Like all my rounds have been 5 minutes. Maybe more so this camp, it's like focusing on trying to throw knees to the head and elbows. I would have maybe neglected that a year ago. Well, not neglected, but not drilled it as much. So that definitely, and a few kind of small things and positions now, and that, like, well, this is elbow range, or if we're up against the wall to throw elbows in when I'm defending a takedown, stuff like that. But it's gonna say the same grind, maybe a bit more volume.
And out in SPG, Nate, who are the bodies who are giving you the work? Who are the training partners who are pushing you on the daily?
So like Alex Kyo, Darry Harrison, Jordan Scully, Paul Fitzgerald. I'm definitely going to leave a few out off the top of my head. There's a good few of the boys, and then like Brandon Blake and wrestling, and there's all the jits lads. We've a good group of lads. Obviously, Peter, like I train with Peter one of the most as well. Like,
it's just good to get a few of the names out there for the lads, just to let them know that they're giving you.
I definitely forgot a few of the boys. They're like, fuck, they're gonna get me in training.
No, they'll just think you don't like them.
Sorry, boys, if I left you out.
They're gonna buy tickets off the Portuguese fella instead.
The way end.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's incredible to see the journey you have on. When you look back at your amateur career, what was your favorite part of your amateur career, or what was a moment that really stood out to you?
You're only talking about the Pila Hotel. I think that was the fight where I won my first belt. That was probably one of the highlights. Definitely, it was a big crowd, and like I got a nice finish. Traveling, I got to go to Bahrain, which I could probably tell you now I'd never go to Bahrain if it wasn't for fighting. Like, I don't know what would bring me out there, but that was sick. If we got to travel a bit, and so maybe the IMAF fights, they were probably the highlights as well. Yeah,
I think in the Super Cup, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you step up a weight class and get a win over there?
Yeah. I weighed in at like cool. 78 for middleweight.
But still got the job done. That was a pretty cool moment as well. So like,
that was probably one of the highlights as well, if not the main one.
Yeah, so I suppose we've seen you enough on top of the cage sometimes. Either raise the belt over there or letting the lads know that you got the job done, and I expect to see that continue in the pro scene as well. And tell us this: will it be lightweight the whole career, or what's the plan on weight wise for the pro scene?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely for the near future, it's going to be lightweight. I'm 22 now, so maybe I will grow more. My frame will change, but at the moment, it's going to be lightweight probably for the foreseeable future.
No, class. Just interested to see which weight class you're going to fight at, because obviously a lot of your amateur career came at welterweight, but I suppose that's down to weigh-ins as well.
Yeah, some of them were same day weigh-ins. If you
Yeah.
look at any time I fought welterweight, it was usually the same day weigh-in. That would be kind of ideal for me, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And tell us this: have you practiced the weight cut before, or do you just feel like if the team's good there that you'll be okay for a lightweight weigh-in?
So my last fight, the super lightweight belt was even made lighter. It used to be 165 pounds, now it was 160. So I kind of will be cutting the same weight to like as I did to 160, if that makes sense. I'll just be maybe 5 pounds lighter the same fight week, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, it's grand. Same kind of procedure.
And Dollar Jack will love this question. So you follow a few of the Irish promotions, but tell us this: what's it like to fight on a Cage Legacy show? Because he puts a lot of effort into the promotion of the shows.
Lad, no one promotes the shows like Declan. Oh my god, I'm tagged in a reel every day. I don't even share half of them sometimes. But he's some man for pushing the show. He gets them done, and it's ideal. They're all close by as well. They're all like, the Red Cow. They're all in the south, so don't have to be traveling up to the north.
Yeah, I suppose that's a massive appeal as well, isn't it? It's sort of that. I know Premiere I've just started now, but it's probably the mainstay of the shows in the south of Ireland. So it's definitely a bonus for it. And then I suppose that means you don't have to ask people to travel too far, which probably continues the chance of you bring that large support. But
yeah. Like IUR is a brilliant show. Like I found that many times. It's a bit of a hike for like say any of my supporters or myself. Like, so it's just nice. This is local, can sell probably a good lot more tickets.
Yeah,
the more shows the better. But like you are right, like having it down in Dublin probably suits you a bit better. So and the people that want to come and support you, but like people can always tune in as well and get links.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah, 100%. There's a link out now, I think, for it.
Is there? Yeah. Well, then make sure to get on to Conor or Cage Legacy, but specifically Conor to make sure to tune in and watch the fight.
Commission, boys, please.
Yeah. He needs to make that extra few bob off the ticket sales and the links. So Conor, look, I can't wait to see you get out there in the pro ranks. I think it's going to be absolutely brilliant for you. I think you're definitely one to watch on the pro scene. So that's why you're here. If we thought you were a scrub, we wouldn't have you on. But I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. Baz, anything else left to say to Conor?
No, Conor, thanks a million for joining us. But is there anything you want to say to people tuning in that want to see you make your pro debut on the 17th of the 2nd on Cage Legacy 20?
Lads, don't put me in the spot. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a good show, a good showcase of skill, and can't wait to go out there and just put on a show, put this fella away.
Perfect. Well, Conor, thanks a million for your time, and we'll let you get on with your day.
Nice one, boys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All the best, boys.
Conor. And Ross, there's Conor McCarthy, your new best mate.
Yeah, look, that Klein young fella, he's most certainly one to watch. I don't think there's a coach in the country who doesn't respect the skills he has. Everyone speaks really, really high of him. Obviously, he fought in the IMAF scene, so a lot of the coaches in the country have seen him. SPG Nace and the time he spent in Charlestown as Rhys stood a test to him, and he's most definitely one to watch. Like, he's got great wrestling. Often I've seen him pick someone up, walk across the cage with them and slam them down. His boxing is really, really high level, especially was the amateur scene, and I expect that to be his main focal point as he turns pro. I think that that boxing's got him the success he's had today.
Yeah, he's actually a lot like Rhys. Like there's not much shit talk. It's just all business, and you can see that he loves the sport as well. And then we're obviously waiting on another guest now.
Yeah, we are indeed.
Come here. I'll just go over a couple of things that is happening in the world right now. Obviously there was no UFC over the weekend. We were just talking about UFC 300 there earlier, and there is a few things being lined up for this weekend. UFC is back. The Leeds Ace fighting Imavov. Meatball Molly McCann is on that card, and that's one that we will definitely be checking out. What's going on is Octagon was back over the weekend, and there was 2 Irish fighters in the card. Armand Hersig lost on the card, but there was a victorious Denis Frimpong, who we're expecting on the show soon.
There's someone who's not afraid of a bit of trash talk.
No, he's up there in the top 5 biggest trash talkers, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely out of Ireland anyway. That man is constantly letting people know what's up, as the kids would say. You know what I mean? But look, he got a win over a very experienced opponent, so I can't wait to chat to Denis.
All right, and then before Denis joins us, Ross, I'm going to go on to the Energized questions that the people sent in so kindly as well. So I'm gonna just read them out. You let us know what you think, and then I can jump on after, right?
All right, go for it.
Okay, the first one. Any word on who's headlining Cage Warriors Dublin in April?
Haven't heard yet, but if I had to put my guessing hat on now, I think it will be Paul Hughes. I think Paul Hughes will fight again under the Cage Warriors banner come April. I know that's probably not a popular answer. That's not what people want to hear. People want to hear Paul Hughes signed to the UFC, but I have a feeling that Paul Hughes want to get in there again soon, and I think April will be the date, and he'll be the headliner.
You see, that's a situation like obviously we talked to Rhys a good bit, and we don't want to constantly be asking him when Paul Hughes is signing, because nobody knows. But because there's no European shows in the UFC coming up soon, I wouldn't be overly confident that Paul will sign. But you also never know. There could be like a pullout, and then he jumps straight in because he's the guy you're waiting to go.
Well, look, Paul Hughes was already one half of one of the biggest fights in Cage Warriors history when him and Jordan Vucenic unified the featherweight title. Why can't Paul Hughes be in one of the biggest fights in Cage Warriors history again and have George Hardwick come to Dublin and fight Paul Hughes in the main event for the lightweight title? We haven't seen George Hardwick back since he lost on Dana White's Contender Series. What a statement it would be if George Hardwick was able to beat Paul Hughes. He was probably the hottest fighter outside of the UFC right now. And then what a win for Paul Hughes if he could go in there and beat George Hardwick and become Cage Warriors champ. And not only that, but be the guy who just fought in the Contender Series. I think that's the fight to make. That's the fight that's going to get the fans excited. That's a fight. Like, yes, it will be devastating for the person who loses, but at the end of the day, that's the fight game. And that's what Ian Dean does. He puts the 2 best guys in there against each other. I think the fans will go crazy for Hughes versus Hardwick.
You see, the thing is, with all these other places putting money into them, like Bellator and PFL, and supposedly Bellator are going to be going to Belfast in March. At what stage does Paul just go, do you know what? I want to start making big money? Because if he signs with them, he's getting big money.
Yeah, potentially so, but I think his goal and his dream is the UFC, and I don't think that's out of the question at the moment still. And I think he goes in there and he wins in Dublin again, and I think it is a done deal. I think I could be wrong now, but I think he only has one more fight left in his Cage Warriors contract, so he would then become a free agent, and then he would be a seriously, hot free agent. So that's the answer to my question. Who's going to headline Cage Warriors April? I have no information on it yet, but I'm going to say Paul Hughes.
I'd say that's definitely the one that they're going for first as well. Yeah. Then another one. Yeah, shout out to Dean Donnelly for asking that question. Rory Crowley asked, are you going to be watching Roadhouse, lads? What do you make of the trailer? Did you actually watch the trailer? Because it was up in the stories, but pressure.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer.
What happened in the trailer then?
McGregor walks into the bar and he smashes the stool around the gaff. Then he headbutts Jake Gyllenhaal. Shouldn't let him get that close, Baz. Shouldn't let him get that close. It reminded me of Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva. But yeah, I thought McGregor looked very beefy in the trailer.
Yeah, didn't he?
I think it's going to be on Amazon Prime, the film. So if I can watch it from my own home with a few Forge Irish stouts to crack open, I'll 100% be watching it. Maybe the 2 of us will watch it together. We'll make a date of it, get a takeaway.
Watch it in the cinema.
Yeah.
We're going to the red carpet for that. I'm not even messing. What's to make of the trailer? I thought the trailer was good, and I'm definitely gonna be watching it. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't watch many movies.
I never saw the first one, so
No,
like
I
I
never
don't really
watched
know. I don't know what the concept of the film is, but like I know obviously Jake Gyllenhaal at some stage fights in the UFC or whatever the fake UFC is or whatever it is, but like they fight in an octagon at some stage. So look, I'm interested to see it. Should be interesting one way or the other.
Yeah, I didn't watch the first one, nor do I plan on watching it before this one, because it could be like, oh, that didn't happen in this one, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to watching it. Like, I don't watch many movies, but like Conor McGregor's in the movie, how can you not watch it?
In fairness, if any like random Irish athlete was in a movie, I'd probably go watch it just for the crack anyway. But especially when someone has as big of a name pull and as much charisma as McGregor does.
Yeah. How much do you think he weighed in that as well?
Probably like 195 maybe.
Jeez, man, he's coming up to your division.
Yeah,
Then Ross, here's another one. DH Newman asked, Liam McCourt headlining PFL Bellator Belfast in March? ?
Yeah, I think that looks like what we're going to get. Cyborg versus McCourt. I think it's a great fight. I think Liam McCourt deserves it after her last win. And not only that, but obviously she's grown quite the fan base. She's going to be a big star in Belfast. It'll be probably the SSE Arena. Obviously, Chris Cyborg is one of the best females to ever do it. Why not have them stuck it out there? And I especially think with Liam McCourt being so close to Ryan Curtis, the amount of spotlight you'll be able to shine on that in the build-up to that fight week, and the amount of help that that will do for Ryan Curtis as well. I think that would be phenomenal. And then why not get a co-main event of James Gallagher and Brett Johns going? I think the fans would love to see that as well. I could be wrong, but I don't think James Gallagher has fought up in Belfast under the PFL Bellator banner.
I think you're right in that.
Yeah.
No, I'd look. Liam McCourt Cyborg is the fight to make, the headline, and then Leah's also getting a massive push as well, doing the commentating as well for PFL and Bellator. Like, they see her as a star. They would love to see her with a belt wrapped around her as well. And like, Cyborg is not going to be an easy fight. Cyborg was also pushing to try and go back to the UFC and fight Amanda Nunes. So that's definitely a space to watch. Ross, just another question from DH Newman as well. Do you think the Irish UK market is overrated or oversaturated with Cage Warriors, PFL, Europe, and Octagon?
I actually don't think so. I think we have the talent to fill those promotions. And if we have the talent to fill the promotions, I think like what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I think like as they say, a rising tide lifts all ships. So I think the more promotions that are in here trying to sign guys is also better for the fighters, because it gives them stronger negotiation powers if they're getting multiple offers from multiple promotions. So yeah, I think they're doing well. I just think when turning pro, I think it's important that you look after yourself, look after your own matchmaking along in the process, because I have seen guys maybe take less favorable matches that they're brought in by promotion to maybe lose at times, and like that's not what we're looking for. You know what I mean? We want to make sure we're handling our careers adequately and giving ourselves the best opportunity to shine.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's great to have all these organizations trying to get Irish talent on them as well, and UK talent. I would, if I was a fighter, I would just sort of concentrate more on what the organization's doing, like how are they promoting their fighters, like how are they putting out their content, is people interacting with it, like will this actually benefit you? Like, there's not, like, I don't really see a point of fighting on an organization where you can't watch the fights live or you can't get a link. Like, I don't think that really helps, because if people are going to follow your journey, they want to be able to see what you're doing. Like, there's no point to disappearing and being like, oh, I won. It's like, when, you know?
Yeah,
I think Karate Combat let down their fighters by like not airing the stuff, not putting it out like when people are waiting for it. I can't really think of any other organization that does that.
Like Karate Combat or Combate Global?
Oh, sorry, Combate Global. Sorry, excuse me.
I was like, I'm pretty sure you watched Karate Combat live. No, Combate Global I've had a few times where I think it's Dee Begley, Dean Abissa, a few others have fought, and there's like, the fight will be out in 3 days. By the way, I won. So like, what's that about? Yeah, Combate Global. Look, obviously their last showing with the SPG fighters on it, like that was a decent show to watch. They had some terrible reffing in the Stephen Costello fight. which was a bit bizarre. The ref was trying to say the other fellow won, even though that's not what the scorecard said. But yeah, Combate have a long way to go to compete with the other fighters. Now, I have no idea what they're doing financially, but in terms of watching the shows, they're definitely lesser in my opinion.
Yeah, well, they can't really say no because that's exactly what happened. I think even in the build-up, they didn't even promote it. Ross, Alcalosi asks, shout out, fish and chips or a Philly cheesesteak?
It depends on what humor I'm in, but like probably a Philly cheesesteak,
I'll agree because I don't want to all laugh at me. We have a couple of questions from Cage Legacy. Excited for Conor McCarthy's pro debut? No. Another one, is Cage Legacy Ireland's #1 show?
I think all the shows offer something different, and I think different shows.
I was thinking about this as well. I was sort of like, it's hard to really pick the show.
Yeah, for me, there's a few standouts. I think you're by taking McAleenan. I think in terms of amateur shows, like they do put on really good amateur shows. I feel like their pro fights lack a bit of star power sometimes. That's not necessarily knocking the promotion. I think that's just sometimes I'm watching. I'm more excited for, I'm going to call it the amateur main event than I am for any of the pro fights. I feel like Cage Conflict is probably the most consistent show. You're getting a few pro fights on top. They're going to be high level lads out of FII, and they're gonna go out there and put on a good show, and like it's produced well, and it tends to be the same venue quite a bit, which means exactly what you're getting when you're there. They do a good job in the Devonish. Cage Legacy is obviously, Tekken kind of is a relentless promoter.
They're going worldwide now as well. Taking on the UFC, he said.
Absolutely. They have a very aggressive schedule for this year. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing can they fulfill all those destinations, because to be honest, I'd be surprised if they do, but like I'm not going to really doubt Tekken Ken anyway, because he's a madman, and he gets mad stuff done sometimes. With the fighters arriving at the media day and the limos and stuff like that, it's just crazy to see. But look,
and the Legacy ladies.
And the Legacy ladies as well. Look, Cage Legacy is it's probably the best party night out of all of them as well. But like the fights themselves are also brilliant. Like we've seen some absolute bangers there.
Shauna.
Shauna Bannon was insane. We've seen Max Lally's rise on Cage Legacy. Conor McCarthy's going to make his pro debut. Like they just acquired Richie Smullen, and then like the next card's going to have a few pro debuts. Like Lewis Burns going to make, like a lot of people like are looking to make to fight on Cage Legacy, and that says a lot about the promoter himself. So look, Cage Legacy definitely has a stake to claim that. And then obviously there's Clan Wars as well. Clan Wars, I actually just feel they're a bit of a funny one. I feel like, I don't know if they're like this, but I feel like they don't relate to the media very well. I feel like they're a bit standoffish. I feel like they're not very welcome. Maybe they've had bad experience in the past, but like we've never had any bad experience with them. But like I feel like they're a bit standoffish with us. Well, not overly welcoming anyway. But obviously they put on some good pro fights as well. And then they put on an awful lot of amateur fights. They sort of have those behind the doors, behind closed doors, sort of novice almost fights where like you don't really know what's going on. But look, the guys at Clan Wars, they seem to run a very good show. The show seems to run together very, very smoothly. It's definitely very well done professionally, but I feel like they could do a bit more, I don't know, promotion and a bit more openness to the media on it. And then I suppose other shows, I feel like Chaos.
Virtuous looks to be a mad one.
Yeah, Virtuous. Shout out to the lads, Jerry Poltic, who runs that show. That seems to be a great show, and like I really like the idea behind that show. It's sort of just promote MMA and OMA, to get that gym a bit more spotlight. Obviously, Damon McKenna sort of headlined most of those shows, and like it seems to be a bit of a cauldron in there. It reminds me almost a bit of the Indigo at times. It's like the Irish Indigo, the way there's the balcony on top and like the fans are going nuts. Chaos is another one, obviously in the Millennium Forum, that like I feel like they could do working on their social media game a bit, but like the way they actually have some grappling matches on there, some MMA fights on there. Like, fair play to the lads, because obviously that seems like an all-day event. It feels like a 7 or 8 hour event, and like the two lads are passionate about it up there. And I suppose they're the only ones putting on a show in Derry. So you know what I mean, it's good for that area as well, which is fantastic. And then Premier seems to have split, and like not really. They never really talked about why they split. They just sort of split. If that makes sense.
And then what? Just kept the name?
Yeah, it sort of vaguely changed the name, but like, and changed the color scheme. Obviously, Noel's very, very passionate about mixed martial arts. You can tell from the way he talks about the fights. But for me, like, I wasn't mad on those pro fights at the last event. I just thought they didn't have any ticket sellers from a promotional standpoint for me on it. And then also,
it didn't help that Ryan Shelley had to pull out.
Yeah, but I didn't like the way they handled that either. They sort of announced Ryan Shelley and never actually said, "Oh, he's pulling out." They sort of just like said nothing about it. So like, I don't know. Like, to me, I'm like, you should probably say he's not fighting on the card anymore. I think the transparency was being missed there. Yeah. I think that's nearly all of them that we discussed, is it?
There's more to announce, man. Come on.
More shows.
No. Look, if any of the shows are actually tuned in now, and they want us to give you more of a hand and in whatever, because like obviously, like a spade here. Like we have the biggest audience on Instagram in the country for covering MMA, and obviously we want people to know these events are on. So if you want us to help out, like, we'd be more than happy to. Like, that's what we've been doing the last few years. So like, you know where to find us. Yeah. And as always, stay energized.
Yeah, but just finish off. Yup Cage Legacy definitely has a claim to be the best show in the country, based on the fighters they've actually had fight for promotion as well. Like, whopper job that they're doing.
Yeah, I like the Pillow Hotel was nice, and you see, I just think the place in Tala Community Center.
Yeah,
I think that's just too small. Like, when you go in there, like, I get mad claustrophobic sometimes when I go somewhere, and like the way that it's just a cauldron, and it's an absolute sweat box when you go in there. And I'd just be like, I'd be like, here, I need to stand outside for a sec.
I'd also like to see Cage Legacy get a bigger cage. What? Like, if you want to critique something, like, I'd like to see them have a slightly bigger cage. Especially for the pro fights.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's a bit of fighting to it. You know what I mean? So, but look,
everyone's learning, everyone's improving. Cage Legacy now are sponsored by Forge Irish Stout as well, and so are Clan Wars. So there will be a lot of things to be checking out this year, because we will be covering them, and we will, like, there is, like, I'm excited for this year.
Yeah, definitely is.
So that is it for the fan questions. Make sure to get your questions in for next week's show. But we have a very special guest in the building. Here we go. Mr. Denis Frimpong, welcome to the show, bud.
How are we, lads? How are we?
Great, Denis. Congratulations. Your first official Octagon win. Does it feel weird to say it's people saying it's your first Octagon win when we watched you get wins on Octagon Challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too bothered, to be honest. Like, I'm not, I didn't really ever start this game for me record or anything like that. I started this game so I could have fights legally, to be honest, and not get arrested for punching someone up outside a bar. So yeah, I just go through it. Obviously, it is what it is, But if that's going to be my first official Octagon win, and it's against a veteran of the promotion and a guy with 30 fights, a fan favorite on Octagon, then yeah, cool. I'll take it for what it is.
Denis, obviously this fight had a lot of traction on it. Obviously, when it comes to fight week and it comes to weigh-ins and press conferences, you're constantly stealing the show for Octagon. Have they said anything to you about that, or have they like praised your ability to get more eyeballs on the fights?
I think they know what the crack is. Obviously the Andre and Pavel have both sung me praises in my ability to sell a fight. I always say, I could sell sand to a sheik. So Yeah, like I do come from a sales background. To be fair, like my job before I went full time was in sales. So I'm just selling fights now. You know what I mean? And yeah, you know, the more I put performances on like that, the more people are going to want to watch. And whether they want to watch me get knocked out or they want to watch me knock someone out is debatable. But you're going to be tuning in regardless. You're going to be watching the pay-per-view. You're going to be buying tickets to come and boo or cheer me. So yeah.
Yeah.
Love
One
or
thing-
hate, you're
one-
watching the Menace, Basmo.
Yeah, but before we get onto the future, Dennis, like what after getting the win there of the weekend, what was the feedback like?
From who? From like the fans and that or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, as expected, you know, I mean, we've seen it on Conor's come up, you know, people would say, oh, you've never fought a good wrestler. Chad Mendes is going to fuck you up, knocks him out. Ah, well, Chad took it on a week's notice. He's too small anyway. Okay. Oh, Jose Aldo's going to knock you out, knocks him out. Oh, well, Jose Aldo, his head was melted anyway. You know what I mean? So no matter what, haters will always try and figure a way out to discredit your achievements. You know, if I'd lost to him, they wouldn't have been saying he was a bum. But now they're saying, well, he's a bum anyway. He's got a load of losses. It's like, yeah, but he's also got a load of wins against really good guys that are highly ranked. Do you know what I mean? So you can't win with these people. But I say, like, I need more haters. Like, I don't have enough haters. I actually need more. I want more. So there's an application link in my bio, hatingonthemenace.com. So fill in that form and I'll accept your application.
I love it. I love
Ross,
it.
you're already registered. You're already registered to that, aren't you?
I set up the website. Dennis, you're so mad. Like you really are. Like it's so entertaining. It was so entertaining on Octagon Challenge, and I feel like you're only getting started. I feel like you're only starting to wind these guys up. And again, like me and Barry were only talking earlier on the show about you know, when you turn pro and stuff like that. Like you should like manage your first couple of fights really carefully. And like, you know what, like, if someone asked me, I'd probably advise against fighting someone with 25 plus fights. But you got in there, not a bother to you. And I think that really goes to show the type of character that you have and self-belief that you have in yourself. Because, you know, I'm sure some people thought, oh, you know, 25 plus fights, that's probably not a good idea to get in there against.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a few things. So first of all, like, where I want to be in my career, where I know I'm at already in my career, like, if I can't beat a guy like that, then, like, why am I doing this? Do you know what I mean? Like, not only that, but you know, I'm 29. I just turned 29. I'm not like a 19-year-old going pro that needs to like wait until my man strength comes in and develop myself and all this yada yada yada. I haven't got the time. You know, I'm just gonna bang the fights out, get the experience in. I'm learning on the job, so going in there against an experienced guy like that will only stand to bring more experience forward. And even the likes of George as well. I know he wasn't like mad experience and all, but like obviously he's amateur experience and like everyone knows what a prospect he is. And yeah, like, you know, we seen the holes that I plugged up learning from the George fight into this fight. You know, I was able to get up against this guy, which I might not have been able to do if I hadn't fought George and found those holes, you know. So yeah, like I've been, this is like a catchphrase of mine nearly now at this stage, but records are for DJs, and I am not a DJ. I spin people's jaws. I don't spin records. So
tell us this. We love it. Tell us this. Obviously, the George fight, was that like a humbling experience for yourself? And
Nah.
No, the man doesn't get humbled.
Nah. Listen, like, it wasn't humbling in the sense that I knew how good he was. You know what I mean? Like, obviously I was chatting a lot of shit about him and all that, like, and I was saying I was going to knock him out, and I believed I was going to knock him out. But I knew he was good. It wasn't like I was taking him for granted. You know what I mean? He comes in with a certain skill set. You know, I wouldn't call what he does MMA exactly, but it works in the MMA cage. But yeah, you know, it wasn't humbling. It was a learning experience more so than a humbling experience. But I still know how good I am. You know what I mean? Just because someone really good beats you doesn't mean you're not good. You know, I still know I'm a high level guy. And like I say, when people go on to see what me and him go to do, in the next 5 to 10 years, people look back at that fight and go, wow, why did they fight each other so early? Like, these are two top guys, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Exactly. What was said to you after the event, Dennis, as well? Like, you know, what I mean, like, you're obviously one of the biggest names now, just in the door at Octagon. Like, what way do you see they're going to try and direct your career now for the next year?
Well, I'm trying to get on this Tip Sport Game Changer tournament.
What's that exactly?
You know, so they're putting Octagon do €1 million tournament bracket. They done one last year at welterweight, and this year they're doing it at lightweight. Yeah, so basically most of the top guys in the lightweight division. They've also brought in a few other guys. I think Makwan Amirkhani got signed on. He's coming up to lightweight for it. But yeah, obviously you don't get $1 million flat out. Like, if you win it, you get 300 grand for the final, but you get paid each step you go up.
Yeah, incrementally.
So I'm trying to get onto that. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, you don't deserve to be on that because of your record." But I mean, I just showed what I can do to someone with a better record than me, you know, with more experience than me. And a guy who was meant to be on that fought Jan Siraki not long ago, and didn't have anywhere near as dominant a performance as I had against him. You know, didn't come near finishing him. Got dropped twice himself, and he's had to pull out with a hand injury. So I'm saying, put me in instead of him. So we'll see what Andre and Pavel have to say about it. Obviously, I don't see why not. You know, they might say otherwise, but if not that, then we'll see where we go from there. But that's what I'm banking on for now.
Yeah, well, like, if Octagon are looking for the Irish eyes and the Irish market, like, I mean, putting an Irishman in that tournament is the way to go, Ross, isn't it?
Yeah, well, like, if you want people to, like, put it this way, Barry, you didn't know about the tournament there. If you want people to know about the tournament, you put the Menace in there, and you'll have them. Everyone dying to get their hands on them in the bracket because it'll have wound them all up. So
that's the thing as well. That's the thing, and like, a lot of these guys that are in that bracket, I want to fight, and they've been ducking me over this whole record nonsense. So just put me in there, and then they can't duck me because you have no choice then but to fight me. And then let's see if I can do what I did to this last mismatch and mismatch them, you know.
And that's another question for you. Obviously, you said it's at lightweight. Obviously, Shem fights at lightweight as well. Is he looking to get into the tournament as well?
I don't think Shem's going to be at lightweight anymore, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he going back down?
I think he's gone down to featherweight. Yeah, I think it was, they said it on the announcement. He called out a couple of featherweights.
Okay.
So yeah, I think he's going back down.
Like, you know, there's the weight classes, and then you put €1 million on the line, and then the weight classes might change. Like, are you telling me, Dennis, if the weight class is welterweight, you wouldn't fancy a pop at that anyway?
Are you mad? Like, have you seen some of the size of them Octagon welterweights?
Man, you're hardly a small lad yourself.
Yeah, I'm not bleeding 95 kilo walking around either, though.
Yeah, fair.
But you know,
money talks, though, Dennis. Money talks.
Money does talk, but yeah, I don't know, mate. Maybe, you know, it depends how much money it was, obviously, as well, and the skill level of the guys involved, you know. But no, I think Shem's going down to featherweight. He's letting me take the reins for the Irish in this what they're calling the Champions League of MMA. So I've said it to them. They need someone to fly the tricolour in there. They've got people from all sorts of countries: Finland, Germany, Czech Republic, and yeah. So just put me in there, and let's see if these guys can handle me. Like,
well, you're definitely one person I want to see in that tournament, Dennis. Because if we're going to cover it, we want to see you in there. Dennis, you're after kicking off the year the way you would have wanted to, 1-0. Like, now, there is potentially getting put into this tournament. Like, for the people tuning in now, like, what should they actually expect from Denis the Menace Frimpong in 2024?
Well, obviously, tournament or no tournament, I'm looking at least 4 more fights. I'm fairly fresh after that fight. I didn't really get hit. My foot's a bit sore from kicking his elbow. That's about it. That'll be gone in a couple of days. I'm already back in the gym, back training. I'll be sparring tomorrow, you know. So yeah, I'm looking for an active year. At least another 4 more fights, I would say. Yeah, by the end of the year. Yeah.
Does that Birmingham card appeal to you?
If I don't get into Tip Sport, that would definitely be one that I'd like to get on. Although, like, me and Shem seem to have bad luck whenever we're putting the same cards, so we might have to leave that one off. But there's one card in particular in Prague. They're doing it in a football stadium. I think it's 30 or 35,000. It's already nearly sold out. Tickets have only been out 2 days. So I'd like to fight a Czech guy on there and get 35,000 people booing me. That'd be nice.
They could all sign up to the hater club as well, Dennis.
Yeah, listen, that'd be 35,000 extra haters, mate. It's a whole lot of extra bonus points for the Menace.
Yeah, this is the entertainment game as well.
Yeah.
Well, here, Dennis, like, we want to congratulate you again. Like, we're absolutely buzzed for you over the weekend getting the win. Unfortunately, Armin didn't get the win, but I mean, look, who knows what happens next time out. Dennis, before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to say to the people tuning in, the fans of the Menace Army fans?
The Menace Army. Yeah, just obviously thanks for the support. Thanks for believing in me. You know, anyone who knows me knows how hard I work and knows how I train and stuff. Knows about my skill set. Watch me on Octagon Challenge. Knows that, like, the record doesn't really speak for my skill set. And I have just been taking hard fights. And as well as that, let's be honest. If I don't know whether you've seen my pro debut as well. That, you know, I don't know if you call. Yeah, I don't know if you call that a loss either, really. In my head, I didn't lose that fight, but yeah, it is what it is. What's on paper is what's official, right? But what's on paper doesn't win you fights, you know. Your skills pay the bills.
Exactly. Well, look, we were chuffed to see you get the win over the weekend, and like, long may it last. Ross, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap things up, bud?
Yeah, I just want to say congrats, Dennis. It was great to see you get in the win column. Look, you're a character and a half. You're also a nice guy as well outside the character. So yeah, just can't wait to see you back in there again. Can't wait to see another Menace show. People love to watch it. Whether, like you say, whether they're part of the Frimpong army or they're part of the hater club, they're watching. You're definitely one of the most charismatic guys out there at the moment. So, look, best luck. Hopefully, see you again soon. Hopefully, you get on that tip sport tournament.
If Octagon are listening, put Dennis in that tournament. Come on, we'll make sure to cover it then.
I'm the only Irish fighter on the roster who's ever had a win on Octagon. So they don't really. If they're going to put someone Irish in, they've got to put me in, haven't they?
There we go. Dennis the Menace, get him in there. Dennis, thanks a million for your time. For those watching at home, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and as always, stay
energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.